So speaking about episodes 5 and 6, did any of you guys get a glimpse of younger Kobe and his interactions with Michael Jordan?
I just would say that, you know, I seen a quote that somebody said, it still doesn't feel real that we're on this earth and Kobe Bryant isn't either. And that's what the first thing I kind of thought about as soon as Kobe popped up on the screen. It's just like, wow, Kobe. But the guy he was when he was younger, it was just like he wasn't afraid of anybody. And you could see the conversation in the All-Star locker room where they were just talking about, oh, this guy doesn't, he gonna take you one-on-one. He don't care who you is. And someone was like, oh, man, I played against him. He shot 4 air balls. He's still coming at me. So it's just like younger Kobe was just still that same hunger as he did in year 1 as he did in year 20. Still that same hunger and that drive to be the best, work as hard as everybody else. Outwork anybody. And him saying that, well, everything. I don't know if you guys seen the video. I remember when I was like in high school, seeing a video of Kobe. It would show a video of how Michael posted somebody up, and they'll be going to Kobe with the same exact form,
Yes.
same exact routine, timing, everything. It was just on beat, cute, everything. Just
when you want to be the best, you learn from the best. And I think that was Kobe's mentality, is he wanted to be just like Michael. So he was going to learn everything he possibly could. I think watching them stand next to each other and them talking to each other and just like you said, the hunger that Kobe had, I don't think Kobe was afraid to mess up and continue to be as dynamic as he was. Like you said, he would shoot 4 air balls, but still go at it. I mean, you can mess up and still want to win and things like that. But I thought what was funny was just how they would talk to each other. I saw a video on Twitter of like when Michael was at after he came back from his second retirement, and Kobe was punching on him and things like that, and Michael was trying to you could tell there was a close relationship there. And no matter at the end of the day, like anytime they would fight against each other, they were always brothers at the end of the day. And I mean, yeah, it was sad for me watching Kobe because I mean he was a huge deal at the NBA. However, as someone who grew up a Spurs fan, I mean, you hated Kobe. You didn't want him to win. You didn't want him to do well. But you could always respect his game.
It's crazy the respect that Kobe kind of commanded as that young kid, because when they were in the huddle, you saw Grant Hill mention that he wasn't trying to guard Kobe because he didn't want to get put on a poster. Yeah. And at this time, I mean, Grant Hill at one point before his injuries was considered the next Jordan or the closest thing to Jordan that we had. And one of the funniest parts is I even saw a Jason Kidd in the Phoenix Suns uniform wearing an afro. I was like, Jason Kidd with an afro? It's like, when was this? But Emily, you mentioned close relationships. The relationship between Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan was a pretty unique one, I'd admit, especially on the Dream Team.
I love the moment. It wasn't in these past 2 episodes, but the 2 before that, when Michael had finally won his first title and he met with Magic, and I mean, just bawled, because you never saw that side of Michael. You always saw him as super aggressive, like that he was always on a grind. He was going to get what he wanted. He was going to win. That's the only type of Michael you saw. You never really saw any real, like, sensitive emotion from him. And to see him just let everything go and everything he had finally worked for had been accomplished was just a really special moment.
I think with Magic and Michael Jordan, like you say, there was a unique relationship because it was just like, man, like this guy works his butt off or whatever. And as Magic sees that and just – he knows he wasn't like mad about the situation, him getting beat by Michael Jordan. It was just like, man, I've seen this guy work a lot. He deserves it. And like you say, Emily, too, him pouring out that emotion, you never really saw it because he was always competitive. And you could tell, like, this is something he'd been just working his butt off for completely time after and time after again. And I think that relationship, I never knew they had that relationship pretty much. But as you could see, even in the All-Star game, he had to come talk to Michael. He wanted to see him. I never knew that, and I'm sure it's still close today, but I just think that was very unique, and I think Michael Jordan, you wouldn't expect him to be the guy kind of pass down some knowledge, but I guess he saw something in Kobe that he didn't see in anybody else, and that was just that competitive nature.
If you'd have told me that Magic Johnson was the person that could get under Michael Jordan's skin the most, I wouldn't have saw it because we always saw Magic Johnson just a big smile on the court. That dream team practice, like we don't even see practices or all-star games close to that intensity. What did you guys think about it?
I thought it was funny that you could have those tense moments and then Magic could be like, oh, I don't think we should have pissed him off, you guys. And then everything was fine. I mean, Michael was competitive no matter what he did, even if it was practice. Like we saw practice, golf, game, throwing quarters, whatever he was doing, he was going to be competitive at it. And I think once they saw that and they were like, he just wants to win and wants to do well, they were like, okay, you guys, let's cut the kid some slack, things like that.
I remember seeing that a while back. It was like they were commentating over it, like just doing a documentary over, I guess, the Dream Team. And everybody was saying that, I mean, those guys are losing, and somebody might Magic end up start poking at him, and he started to go off. And Magic was saying, like, hey, I told him, hey, it ain't the NBA or whatever. This ain't United Center or whatever. And he said, he starts going off. He scores one bucket. He come down the lane, dunk it. He come back again, lays it up. Like, that guy was competitive. Practice? Talk about practice? Like, and this guy was treating it probably like an NBA game and going at these guys. And these wasn't no, scrubs. These were some ballers as well.
11 Hall of Famers.
11. Personally, I'm starting to feel a little bit cheated because now it makes you wonder, does today's NBA kind of lack that intensity? They showed they can still be friends, but they went at each other, like undercut each other, hard fouls, but they were still the best of friends. Does today's NBA lack the intensity that Jordan and those guys play with?
I think I love the NBA. Don't get me wrong. I think how the NBA is turning has kind of frustrated some fans, especially with players like James Harden and them, where you can't even get like a foot of them between them without getting called a foul. Like there's not that intense and aggressive defense that you usually had back in the 90s. And I think you don't really get that competitive ability anymore. Also do think times have changed. I don't think the NBA is as close as they used to be because so many people, there's constant trades, constant people shuffling from teams and things like that. There's no like set place where you go and stay for a long time and just kind of build that program like people like Magic and Kobe and Michael and all of them did. So I think that's just it's a different time now.
Well, I would say that I feel like they're a little bit closer kind of with the social media aspect of everything. Like these guys start to kind of work out together. You got the older players kind of mentoring the younger players a little bit. I think it's more friendlier, and I don't think nobody wants to kind of bang anybody because people could kind of take it personal nowadays. I think we're just living in a sensitive time right now, and everybody are pretty much sensitive against each other. But I mean, it's just not aggressive. So I would say I just think it's because they are friends. They are buddy. Back then they were buddy, but it was like I think I heard somebody say during the documentary when we played you guys, all that was out the window. Like no matter what, we were going against each other. I was going to beat you no matter what. It wasn't that friendly stuff. But now today, you see them a lot laughing during the game, a little bit competitive, just laughing during the game. You probably seen that a couple times back then, but not as much as you do today.
Well, thank you, panel. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.